Here's something that might shock you. 93% of online experiences start with a search engine. Yet most WordPress site owners are still optimizing their content completely wrong. They're either ignoring keywords entirely or stuffing them everywhere like it's 2005. The truth is way more nuanced than that, and it's actually simpler than you think once you understand what's really happening behind the scenes. Stick around, because we're about to break down exactly where keywords matter, where they don't, and how to implement this in a way that actually makes sense for your business.
Brought to you by Republish AI, the WordPress SEO plugin that grows organic traffic on autopilot.
Let me start with something that's been bothering me about how people talk about keywords. There's this constant tension between two camps. One camp says keywords are dead. The other camp acts like we're still in an era where you cram the same phrase into your content 17 times and hope Google rewards you. Both of these perspectives are wrong, and I think understanding why is the key to actually getting your content to rank. Keywords aren't dead, but the way we use them has completely transformed. Think about it this way. The old meta keywords tag that everyone obsessed over, Google literally stopped using it in 2009. They just decided it wasn't valuable anymore. But here's the thing that most people miss. That doesn't mean keywords themselves stopped mattering. It just means they moved. They changed form. Today, keywords matter more than ever, but not in the way you might think. Search engines in 2026 are incredibly sophisticated. They understand context. They understand synonyms. They understand what someone actually wants when they type something into Google. So when you're optimizing your content, you're not really doing this for the search engine algorithm in the way people imagine. You're doing two things simultaneously, and both are equally important. First, you're helping search engines understand what your content is actually about. Second, you're signaling to real human readers that they've landed on something relevant to what they're searching for. Both of those things matter, and they matter equally. Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine someone runs a digital marketing agency, and they want to rank for the phrase content marketing strategy. The old approach would be to cram that exact phrase into everything: the title, the headers, the first paragraph, the last paragraph, maybe even into a few sentences where it doesn't even fit naturally. That feels wrong because it is wrong. Readers pick up on it immediately. The content feels forced. It reads like it was written for a robot, not a person. But here's what actually works. You write genuinely helpful content about content marketing strategy. You understand that people searching for this are trying to solve a real problem. They want to know how to actually build a strategy that works. Your title includes the phrase naturally. Your headers use variations and related terms. Your first paragraph mentions it. Your content flows like it was written by someone who actually knows what they're talking about, because it was. The difference is enormous. And the crazy part? When you write this way, the keyword optimization almost takes care of itself. Now let's talk about where keywords actually show up on your WordPress site, because this is where it gets practical. There are 5 places that genuinely matter, and I want to walk you through each one. Your post title is number 1, and this is probably the single most important place. But here's where it gets confusing. WordPress actually gives you 2 different titles for every post. There's the post title that your readers see at the top of your page, and then there's the SEO title, which is what shows up in search results and browser tabs. They can be different, and sometimes they should be. You might have a post title that's really engaging and catchy for readers, like The Ultimate Guide to Building a Social Media Strategy That Actually Works. But your SEO title might be more straightforward and keyword-focused. Social Media Strategy Guide for Small Businesses. Both are valid. The post title grabs attention. The SEO title answers the search intent. When you're writing your post title, put your keyword near the beginning if you can. Keep it under 60 characters so it doesn't get cut off in search results. And make sure it reads naturally. The best titles do both things at once. They're compelling to humans, and they include the relevant keyword. Number 2 is your headers. Headers aren't just for breaking up your content visually. They create a hierarchy that search engines use to understand how your content is organized. Think of it like an outline. Your H1 is the main topic. Your H2s are major sections. Your H3s are subsections under those. Search engines read this structure and use it to understand which topics are most important and how they connect to each other. But here's the thing. You don't need to force your exact keyword into every single header. In fact, you shouldn't. Use variations. Use related terms. Use natural language that describes what each section is actually covering. If your main keyword is email marketing automation, your headers might include phrases like setting up your automation workflow or best practices for segmentation. These all relate to your main topic without being repetitive or awkward. Number 3 is your meta description. This is the little snippet that shows up under your title in search results. It doesn't directly impact your rankings, but it massively impacts whether people actually click through to your site. You've got about 155 characters to convince someone that your page has what they're looking for. Including your target keyword here is smart, because Google often bolds matching terms in search results, which makes your listing stand out. But more importantly, write it like you're writing ad copy, because that's essentially what it is. Number 4 is your content body. This is where you have the most space to naturally incorporate keywords, but it's also where the optimization can become most obvious if you're not careful. The old advice was to aim for 1 to 2% keyword density. If you wrote 1,000 words, your keyword should appear 10 to 20 times. But I'm going to be really honest with you. That's not how you should think about it anymore. Instead, write naturally and include your keyword when it makes sense. If you're genuinely covering the topic thoroughly, the keyword will appear naturally in the right places. You want it in your first paragraph. You want it in some of your subheadings. You want it scattered throughout the body. But you don't want to force it. If a section doesn't naturally lend itself to your exact keyword, use a variation or a related term instead. And while we're talking about content, let's discuss image alt text. When you upload images to your WordPress site, you can add alt text that describes what's in the image. This serves two purposes. First, it's important for accessibility. Screen readers use alt text to describe images to people with visual impairments. Second, it's helpful for SEO. If you've got an image that relates to your topic, make sure the alt text is descriptive and includes your keyword naturally. But don't stuff it. If your image shows someone working on a laptop, don't write person, laptop, working, typing, business productivity workflow. That's ridiculous. Write something like professional working on a productivity system at their desk. It's natural. It's descriptive. It makes sense. Number 5 is structured data. And this is the most technical part, but don't let that intimidate you. Structured data is basically a way to tell search engines exactly what your content is about in a format they can understand easily. It can help you get special search results called rich snippets. These might include star ratings or FAQ sections or how-to steps. These enhanced listings typically get higher click-through rates because they give searchers more information before they click. Now here's what I really want to emphasize, and this is crucial. The biggest mistake people make with keyword optimization is focusing too much on keywords and not enough on user experience. If your content reads awkwardly because you're forcing keywords in, you've already lost. Your real audience can sense it. They'll bounce. They won't share it. They won't link to it. And ironically, all of that hurts your rankings way more than optimized keywords help them. The real goal is to write genuinely valuable content that answers what people are actually searching for. Do that, implement the 5 optimization points we talked about naturally, and you're going to see results. It's not complicated. It's just careful, intentional work. Start with one post. Go through each area we discussed and implement the techniques. Once you see how it works, it becomes second nature. You'll be optimizing content without even thinking about it.